everyone, and welcome back for another deep dive with us. You know how we do it here. We take a fascinating topic and
we really get into it.
Yeah, we get into the nitty-gritty. Today we're going to be looking at the Book of Enoch.
Oh, yeah.
This is an ancient Jewish text. It's not actually part of the official Jewish or Christian canon.
Right.
But it was super influential in early Christianity.
Oh, absolutely.
And it gives us this glimpse into the beliefs and the ideas that were circulating at the time. So it's really a valuable historical and cultural...
I hit the window.
Yeah, a window.
Into the past.
So what are we going to find in the Book of Enoch? Like, what are some of the things that make it so interesting?
You're going to find angels.
Yeah.
You're going to find giants. You're going to find prophecies. All kinds of really wild stuff.
All right, so we've got angels, we've got giants, we've got prophecies. What else?
Well, it grapples with some of those big questions.
Yeah.
You know, the questions that humans have always asked. Like, where do we come from? What happens after we die? What is the nature of good and evil?
Okay, so it's dealing with some really heavy stuff. Yeah.
Heavy stuff. All right, well, how do we even begin with a book like this?
Well, luckily for us, the Book of Enoch is actually a collection of writings, and we're going to be focusing on three main parts.
Okay.
The Book of the Watchers, the Book of Dreams, and the Book of Parables.
Okay, so we're going to take it section by section.
Each one builds on the last.
Okay.
And it creates this kind of epic narrative of cosmic rebellion, divine judgment, and ultimately hope.
Okay, I am intrigued. Let's start with the Book of the Watchers. What is it about the Book of the Watchers that's so captivating?
Well, this is where we meet the fallen angels.
Okay.
Those rebellious beings who defied God and descended to earth.
Okay, so we're already talking about angels going rogue.
Going rogue.
Yeah.
This is big stuff.
So what was it about the human world that was so tempting to these angels?
Well, the Book of Enoch tells us that these angels, they were captivated by human women. And they chose to abandon their heavenly posts. Their leader was this angel named Semjaza. But there are others with names like Arakelel and Azazel.
Wait, so these angels had specific names?
Oh, yeah.
It's almost like they had individual personalities.
Absolutely.
That's so interesting.
Yeah. And these names often hint at their roles or attributes. For example, the angel Ramiel. His name means morning of God. But he becomes Azaz, also known as Gadriel, meaning wall of God.
So it's like their fall from grace is reflected in a change.
And their name.
Yeah, in their name.
Absolutely.
Wow, that's fascinating.
Yeah.
Okay, so these angels, these watchers,
Yeah.
they're interacting with humans now.
Yeah.
What happens?
Well, they take human wives and they have children.
Okay.
And those children are the Nephilim.
The Nephilim.
Nephilim, and these aren't your average kids.
No, they are not.
Right.
The Book of Enoch describes them as giants, reaching the astounding height of 300 ells.
300 ells. I'm having trouble even picturing that. What is that like?
It's multiple statues of liberty, stacked on top of each other.
It's not just big. That is impossible.
It's larger than life.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the point. The author is using this exaggerated imagery to convey something more than just their physical size.
So what do giants represent when we see them in mythology, in stories?
Power. Overwhelming power.
Right. They represent forces that are...
Uncontrollable.
Yeah, beyond human control.
Exactly.
Okay.
So the Nephilim embodies the dangers of unchecked power and the potential for chaos when divine knowledge is misused.
Oh, okay. So it's not just that they're big and scary. It's that they represent this...
Corruption.
Yeah, this corruption that comes from...
Tampering with knowledge that's beyond our grasp.
Yeah.
You got it.
Okay. So the Nephilim are running rampant.
Yeah.
What happens next?
Well, it throws the entire cosmos out of balance.
Mm.
The archangels, you know, those beings closest to God, they witness this unfolding disaster. And they appeal for divine intervention.
Okay, so it's like they're saying, hey, God, you got to do something.
This is getting out of control.
This is getting out of control.
And that's where the flood comes in.
The flood.
God's judgment on this corrupted world. Right. God sends the angel Uriel to warn Noah about the impending flood.
Okay.
A punishment for the chaos that has engulfed the world. But it's not just a blanket punishment. God also decrees specific consequences for the watchers themselves.
Oh, so the angels don't get off scot-free.
No, they do not.
What happens to them?
Well, Azazel, for instance. He is imprisoned in a desolate pit.
Yeah.
Symbolizing his separation from the divine.
So even in this destruction, there's this sense of...
Order.
Yeah, of justice.
Absolutely.
Being restored.
It's like the universe is trying to right itself.
Yeah, yeah.
After being thrown off balance.
Okay.
And that righting in the universe That's going to take us into the next section.
Okay.
The Book of Dreams.
The Book of Dreams.
Picks up after the flood. And it uses this striking imagery of Noah's sons emerging from the ark as three bulls, Shem, Ham, and Japheth.
As bulls.
As bulls, a white bull, a red bull, and a black bull.
It's like the world is being reborn.
Yes.
But there's also this sense of maybe some challenges ahead.
Yeah, like it's not going to be easy.
It's not a clean slate exactly.
Not exactly.
Okay.
The potential for conflict and corruption, it remains.
So even with a fresh start, humanity might be...
Mess it up.
Yeah, mess it up. Okay, so what are some of the things that stand out in the Book of Dreams?
Well, we see 70 shepherds who are tasked with guiding and protecting the Israelites.
Shepherds.
Shepherds, yeah, often interpreted as angels.
Oh, okay.
But these shepherds, they stray from their divine mandate. They end up inflicting harm rather than providing protection.
So even those who are supposed to be...
The good guys?
Yeah, the good guys.
Can fall.
Can mess up.
They can mess up.
What does that tell us about the Book of Enoch's view of
Power
and responsibility?
Power is dangerous, even when it's divinely bestowed.
So it's like a cautionary tale.
A cautionary tale.
Yeah.
About the dangers of power.
Okay, so how does this theme of corrupt leadership or corrupt power play out in the Book of Dreams?
Well, it shows the eventual splitting of the kingdom and the fall of Israel and Judah. The Israelites are portrayed as sheep, abandoned by their shepherds.
So the sheep are just...
To fend for themselves.
Yeah, to fend for them.
Vulnerable to attack.
Okay.
It's a pretty stark image of the consequences of bad leadership.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, and then you mentioned earlier that the Book of Dreams even touches upon real historical events, like the Maccabean Revolt.
Right.
So it's blending this kind of mythological...
Prophecy.
Yeah, prophecy.
With history.
Yeah, with historical commentary.
All intertwined.
That's really fascinating. So how does it portray the Maccabean Revolt?
It uses animal imagery.
Okay.
The Seleucids, the Greek rulers who oppressed the Jews. They're portrayed as eagles and vultures, preying on the Israelites who are symbolized as sheep.
Oh, wow.
And the faithful Jews who resist, they're depicted as lambs.
Lambs versus vultures.
Lambs versus vultures.
That's a powerful image.
It is.
Okay, so we've got this blend of symbolic and historical narratives. It really makes me think about how these ancient texts can give us insight into different periods.
Different ways of thinking.
Yeah, different ways of thinking.
Different ways of seeing the world.
Okay.
That's what makes the Book of Enoch so compelling. It's not just a collection of stories.
Right.
It's a reflection on the human condition, our relationship with the divine, and the struggle between order and chaos.
And it sounds like the Book of Dreams is setting us up for something even bigger, maybe something that will provide some answers. Is that where the Book of Parables comes in?
You got it.
Yeah.
The Book of Parables is where the Book of Enoch takes a visionary turn. This is where we encounter the Son of Man.
The Son of Man. Now, that's a title that's loaded with significance, especially in Christian tradition.
Oh, yeah.
So how does the Book of Enoch portray the Son of Man?
Well, he is presented as a pre-existent messianic figure who will ultimately judge the world.
So we've moved from the fall of angels and the flood to this anticipation of a messianic figure who's going to bring about justice.
Justice.
Yeah.
A new era.
Like this whole narrative arc is building toward...
A climax.
Yeah,
a resolution.
Okay.
And what's remarkable is that the Book of Parables is considered one of the earliest and most influential texts on Jewish messianism.
Wow.
He gives us a glimpse into the beliefs and the expectations surrounding a coming Messiah, ideas that would later influence early Christian thought.
So we're not just talking about an ancient text here. We're talking about the roots of some of the most influential ideas in Western religious tradition. It's kind of mind-blowing when you think about it. So let's recap for a second. We started with the fall of the Watchers, their giant offspring, the flood. Then we moved into the Book of Dreams, where we saw the aftermath of this cosmic rebellion. And now we're on the verge of exploring this messianic figure, the Son of Man.
It's quite a ride, and it's all connected, these sections. They build upon each other. They create this rich tapestry of cosmic history, divine judgment, and the struggle for righteousness.
Okay, I'm ready to delve deeper into the Book of Parables, but before we do that, there are a few other things I want to touch on. Like Enoch's journey to heaven.
Oh, yeah.
It's almost like a cosmic travelogue filled with these fantastical images and encounters with angels.
It's one of the highlights of the book.
All right, let's take a quick detour and explore Enoch's journey before we dive into the Book of Parables.
So picture this. You're traveling through this cosmic map of the spiritual world. You're encountering wonders, terrors, things beyond human comprehension.
Okay.
That's Enoch's journey.
Wow.
He encounters mountains made of precious stones, symbolizing the beauty and majesty of heaven. But he also sees fiery abysses, hinting at the punishments awaiting the wicked.
It's like he's getting this behind-the-scenes tour of the universe.
He is.
And it's both awe-inspiring and terrifying.
It is. That's the power of symbolic language. It allows the author to convey these complex ideas in a way that really resonates with our imagination.
Yeah. And speaking of symbolic language, I want to go back to the angel names for a second. We talked about it a little bit earlier, but I'm really curious about the deeper meanings. You mentioned that the LL suffix in names like Michael and Uriel connects them to the divine.
By the L suffix, it comes from the Hebrew word for God, El.
Okay.
It's a linguistic clue.
Yeah.
That points to their original status as heavenly beings.
Even those who rebel.
Even those who rebel.
Like Azazel.
Like Azazel.
So it's a reminder that they were once part of this
divine order.
Yeah, this divine order. They were close to God, but then they chose to
sever that connection.
Yeah, sever that connection. Wow, it makes you wonder what their roles were like.
Yeah.
Before the fall.
There's a lot of debate about that. Some scholars believe that their names hint at their specific functions, like Eriquel. His name is associated with the earth, so he might have been connected to the natural world. Kokabeel. His name relates to stars. Could have been linked to astronomy or astrology.
So each name is like a clue to their original purpose.
It's a puzzle waiting to be solved.
I like that. Okay. I have to admit, though, some parts of the Book of Enoch are really hard to grasp. Like Enoch's journey to heaven, with all the fantastical imagery. It's hard to know what's meant to be taken literally, what's purely symbolic.
There's a lot of debate about that. Some scholars suggest that Enoch's journey might represent real locations, while others see it as a purely symbolic representation of spiritual realms and concepts.
It's like trying to interpret a dream. Sometimes a cigar is just a cigar, but other times it's a phallic symbol.
Right. The Book of Enoch, like a dream, can be interpreted on multiple levels.
Yeah.
And that's part of what keeps people fascinated.
Even though it's not part of the official canon.
Exactly. It sparks our imagination. It challenges our assumptions.
Yeah.
It invites us to grapple with those timeless questions.
It's incredible that a book written centuries ago can still feel so relevant today.
It speaks to a deep-seated human fascination with the unseen world, the forces that shape our destinies, the choices we make.
And it's not just about ancient history or religious beliefs. The Book of Enoch has had a surprising influence on modern culture as well.
It has.
Really?
You might be surprised.
Like how?
Well, for example, the video game, El Shaddai, Ascension of the Metatron.
A video game.
Yeah, draws heavily from the Book of Enoch.
Wow. So we're not just talking about academic study here.
No.
These ideas are inspiring.
Artists. Storytellers.
It's like these ancient ideas are being reimagined.
For a modern audience.
Yeah.
And that's what's so exciting about exploring these ancient texts. They're not just relics of the past.
Right.
They're living sources of inspiration and wisdom.
Okay. I need to check out that video game. But let's go back to the Book of Parables and that enigmatic figure, the Son of Man.
Right.
We left off with the Book of Parables setting the stage for this arrival of a messianic figure who will judge the world and usher in a new era.
It's like the culmination of everything we've explored so far.
Right.
The fall of the angels, the flood, the cyclical nature of history. It all leads up to this pivotal moment.
It's like the Book of Enoch is getting really prophetic here.
It is.
It's offering this glimpse into the future.
The ultimate fate of humanity.
Okay.
And in this prophetic vision, we see the full significance of the Son of Man. He's not just a judge. He's a redeemer, a figure who will restore balance to the cosmos and usher in a reign of righteousness.
So it's not just about punishment for past sins. There's this element of hope for the future.
A chance to start anew.
Okay.
Under the guidance of this messianic figure.
And that's a message that resonates with a lot of different religious traditions.
It does. It's fascinating. And what's really interesting is that the Book of Parables is considered one of the key sources for understanding early Jewish messianism.
Okay.
It gives us a window into the beliefs and the expectations surrounding a coming Messiah. Ideas that would shape early Christian views about Jesus.
So again, we're looking at the roots of some really influential ideas.
Yeah.
But the Book of Parables isn't just about religious prophecy. It's also about justice.
Absolutely.
The Son of Man isn't just a savior, he's also a judge
Right.
who holds humanity accountable.
For its actions.
Yeah.
The Book of Parables doesn't shy away from the consequences of human actions,
Right.
both good and evil.
So it's like a reminder that our choices matter.
They do.
We're not just pawns in this cosmic game.
Right.
We have a role to play.
We are active participants
Yeah.
in shaping our own destiny.
And the fate of the world.
Exactly.
Wow.
And that speaks to the relevance of the Book of Enoch.
Okay.
It challenges us to think about our own actions, our relationship with the divine, and the consequences of our choices.
It's amazing that an ancient text like this can still offer us
Guidance?
guidance and insights for today.
For today.
Okay. One more question about the Book of Parables. How does it connect back to those earlier sections of the Book of Enoch?
Well, it's not just a standalone prophecy.
Okay.
It's the culmination of everything.
Okay.
Remember those fallen angels, the Watchers,
Yeah.
who brought chaos and corruption to the world.
Yeah. Their actions set off this whole chain of events
Right.
that led to the flood.
And the need for a new beginning.
Okay.
And in the Book of Parables, we see the ultimate resolution to that conflict.
So it's like we're coming full circle.
You're coming full circle.
Okay.
The Son of Man representing divine justice and righteousness triumphs over the forces of evil, restoring balance to the cosmos.
So good versus evil. And good wins.
Good wins in the end.
Okay.
The Book of Parables offers a hopeful vision for the future, a reminder that even in the face of darkness and despair, the forces of good will ultimately prevail.
That's a really comforting thought.
It is.
All right, before we wrap up our deep dive into the Book of Enoch, I'd love to get your final thoughts on why this ancient text continues to resonate with people today.
Well, I think it's because it grapples with those timeless questions that have always captivated humanity.
Like what?
The nature of good and evil, the mystery of the divine, the struggle for justice. In a world that's often filled with chaos and suffering.
It's like it's holding up a mirror to
Oh,
our own
that's-
fears, anxieties, and aspirations.
Absolutely.
And it's saying, hey, you're not alone.
You're not alone in this search for meaning and purpose.
And it does it through these
Vivid stories,
vivid stories.
symbolic language,
Yeah.
prophetic visions
Yeah.
that really capture our imagination
Okay.
and challenge our understanding.
It's not just an ancient text. It's something that can still offer us
Inspiration, guidance
for today.
for navigating the complexities of modern life.
Okay. Well, before we move on to the outro, is there anything else about the Book of Enoch that we should mention that we haven't talked about yet?
Well, one thing that really stands out to me is how the Book of Enoch portrays angels. It's different from how we usually think of them.
How so?
Well, we often picture angels as these purely good, benevolent beings. The kind with halos and wings.
Right.
But in Enoch, they're more complex than that.
They are.
Yeah.
In what way?
Well, they're not just messengers of God or passive servants. They're powerful beings with their own free will. And they have desires. They're capable of both good and evil.
So it's not just a simple black and white,
Well,
good versus evil kind of thing.
I don't know.
Even the angels have some shades of gray.
Absolutely.
Interesting.
And that complexity, I think that's what makes the Book of Enoch so
it
intriguing.
definitely makes you rethink things.
It does.
Okay, so we've talked about the fall of angels, the flood, the prophecies of the Son of Man, and even Enoch's journey to heaven. What does all of this mean for us, the modern readers, who are diving into this ancient text?
That's a great question. I think the Book of Enoch offers a unique perspective on our own world and the challenges that we face. It reminds us that the battle between good and evil is still going on and that we all have a part to play in shaping the future.
So it's not just a historical curiosity, it's a call to action.
It is to be mindful of our choices and to strive for righteousness in a world that can often feel pretty dark.
To make the world a better place.
Exactly.
And to really connect with something larger than ourselves.
Whether that's through faith,
Yeah.
community,
Yeah.
or just our own individual pursuit of truth.
It's about finding meaning.
It is.
And purpose.
In a world that can sometimes feel meaningless.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the Book of Enoch, it's not just something to be studied. It's a source of inspiration and guidance.
To help us navigate the complexities of modern life.
Absolutely.
Okay, well, that about wraps up our deep dive into the Book of Enoch. We've explored ancient prophecies, angelic rebellions, and even glimpsed into humanity's eternal questions.
It's been a pleasure sharing these stories with you.
Thanks for joining us. Until next time, keep those minds curious and those imaginations ignited.